So this is Dragon Eye Lake. If you've been watching this series from the beginning, you might recall that I briefly visited here in one of the first parts. I don't remember if it was part 1 or 2, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that we can do stuff here now. Over here, if I were to read this, it's just instructions on how to fish, but I don't need that. Somebody graffitied a poop symbol in the upper right of them. I didn't think you needed poop to fish properly, but who knows, maybe I've just been doing it wrong all this time. So I actually have 2 fishing poles, although once you get the upgrade, it's just a permanent upgrade. The first one is just literally junk. I got it from the Trash Mountain, from one of the Sukumon, and the second one I got from Shogun Gekkomon by giving him a bunch of trading cards. The difference between the two is just basically how far you can fish. With the basic fishing pole, you'd only be able to fish, get about half as much distance as this one. You can fish all the way to the end of the lake. So just drag this sucker. I actually just want to try out something. Just really test out the range on this bad boy. Oh yeah. So there are a bunch of different baits you can use. I mean, I think basically you can just use any kind of food item. So you can use meats or digimushrooms or use vegetables, but fish don't like vegetables, I don't think. That's not a thing. These smaller fish in the beginning areas. Oop, I forgot. I have to actually try and hook them in. Alright, I'm a little rusty at this. My apologies. So, they took my bait, but I can actually keep dragging my line. And there are a couple locations on this screen where if you let them take your bait and you drag your line, you'll snag an item. I think it's just like a small recovery. Nothing too special. So, the fish in the beginning, like the very shallow parts of the lake, are just kind of baby times. Like, nobody really cares about those fish. They're just like digi-anchovies and digi-trout. Certain fish will only like certain types of bait. Digi-catfish won't like regular meats or digi-mushrooms. They need like sirloin or like other fish to hook them in. So let's maybe try and get one of them now. If they like it... Oh, he doesn't like sirloin. Oh, screw you. I guess I actually do need a fish for that. Well, we're learning all kinds of things every day. If they like it, there will be... Why doesn't anybody like meat? Okay. So he's hooked. And as I was saying, if they like it, there'll be a heart above their head. If they don't, there'll be an X. And once you hook them, you basically just have to either mash or just hold down the X button. I usually mash it, personally. I think that's actually more efficient. If you mash it too much... I mean, I could catch this guy by now, but I'm just trying to show it off. If you mash it too much, you'll have, like, too much strain on the line and it'll break if it's, like, red and it fills up. So you'll just have to wait for it to cool down and become blue, but you don't want there to be too little strain, otherwise it'll also break and he'll just get away. Alright, so we hooked this guy, and this is going to be considerably more... Well, it's not going to be super difficult. Like, I don't want to be like, hey, fishing's a really hard thing, guys. This is virtual fishing. But it is going to be more difficult to catch a catfish as opposed to a snapper or something. So, just going to take a little bit longer. He's really fighting, but it doesn't matter. We'll get our prey one way or the other. Digi sea bass? Oh, that's not right. That's not right at all. Oh. I guess Digi sea bass are the best ones. I thought Digi catfish were the best ones. Well, as you can see, getting Digi sea bass, it's a very good thing, because it not only recovers full HP and MP, but it also will extend your Digimon's life by, I don't know how much. I would imagine it wouldn't be too much, probably like an in-game hour or two. So that's interesting. I forgot that was a thing. I thought Huh. Maybe I'm not such an expert fisherman. And so let's just load a save state of something special I have prepared. I am currently in the other part of Dragoneye Lake. This is just a couple screens down from where I was fishing before. Right here, below me, are a bunch of digi-catfish, and they should take sirloin. They're pretty easy to catch just because they're like right here. Although I think, I don't know, the perspective is kind of wonky right here, but whoa, meat's coming right at you. And do you guys like it? Yeah. So they're pretty easy to catch. And I think they sell for a decent amount too. Anyway, the reason I'm here is because we've been told about a lake guardian, and you can kind of see there's a really big silhouette. I mean, again, the perspective is really screwy on the screen, but just trust me, it's a big silhouette that will loop constantly. There he is! And so if you try and, you just have to fish him up. You just gotta catch him. He's a giant fish, and what do you want? I don't know if I've ever actually caught him before. Like, I know what's coming up, but I don't think I've ever actually done this successfully. So, we've been told a bunch of times, like, hey, go meet the lake guardian. You have to go, like, during the daytime or the afternoon. And so let's try and do that. I actually have something set up here with that save state, where whenever he decides to come and make a pass, he should bite it. And he's hooked. And this is going to take a while. I was trying to do this a little bit earlier just to see if I could. And it's not going to be pretty. So, yeah. Here we go. Hot damn. That wasn't that bad at all. Oh no, it's the guardian. Wait, what do you mean, oh no? We were trying to catch him. Fishing so much. We caught like 2 fish. Ugh, whatever. Turns out the lake guardian is kind of a lake genie of sorts because he's going to grant us a wish. You want to choose the Let's Be Friends option, but we can also be taught a technique if we want. Digimon will teach your guy a random water technique, and I would imagine that if you pick this or the last option, that you'd be able to fish him again. Otherwise, you'd kind of screw yourself out of accessing a certain area. So I don't think that would be the case. You can also get an item. Digimon could give us a water bottle, which is a Digivolution item. Just give it to your rookie, and he will turn into Digimon here. Although he will not be nearly as large. Something closer to Gunter's size, I would imagine. Anyway, let's be friends. Digimon, it's not you, it's me. And, okay, he seems to be taking it pretty well. He's even giving us a flute. Sure, I'll go. Hey, it's Beetle Land. As I mentioned earlier, I don't think I've ever actually been here before. Maybe like one time, if ever, but even then I kind of doubt it. These red guys are Tentamon. They are rookie types. Unfortunately, you can't recruit one to the city, and you can never have your own Digimon become one, which I always thought was kind of a shame because for the TV show, Tentomon was my favorite of the starter Digimon. This Tentomon, however, will let you talk to him without wanting to beat you up, which is a welcome change of pace. He has nothing to do, though, since they are between tournaments. He's just itching for conversation, you can tell. They didn't even give him like a book to read. This is one of the gyms in Beetle Land. There are 2 different gyms, in fact. Turns out bugs just really like getting into shape and fighting. These get so pumped about working out. This Kabutarimon has information about the insect tournament. Takes place every year on day 22. That's days with 2 2s for those of you who are bad with numbers. But only insectoid Digimon can participate, which is kind of racist, but it's their island, so I guess it's their rules. That's a typo for the second name there. It's not Karagamon with an R, it's Kawagamon with a W. And as he said, winning the tournament will give you, like, good items, one of which will allow you to digivolve into Hercules Kabutarimon, which is very good. I actually think I might try and get him, like, training naturally, so we'll see how well that goes. This Kabutarimon will teach you a good technique. It's called Bug, and it looks a little something like this. Oh, good God. So of course we want to learn something like that. That sounds awesome. But we don't have enough defensive power. So, gotta get to training. I think we actually need something like 500 defense to learn it, but it's probably not gonna happen anytime soon. So, oh well. Instead, let's do some training while we're in the area. Rock pushing. We have this back home. Gunter in the green gym. They have exotic rocks over here, though. This is a real treat. And striking. We also have a version of this back in the green gym. It's not nearly as professional. It's just hitting a tree as opposed to actual gym equipment. So this is kind of nice. This is a little too highbrow, I think. Back in my day, if we wanted to get stronger, we just punched a tree and we liked it. This Kabutarimon, though, is important. He's tired of training. And so we can suggest a training ground, but he's not gonna go for that. He just said he doesn't like training. He needs the raw, visceral thrill of actually beating up other Digimon. We're pretty well versed in that. And so he likes it. Kabutarimon, you too can beat up all kinds of Digimon at the arena. We've got bug types, we've got fire types, we've got ghosts. You name a type of Digimon, we probably have it for you to fight. Just come on down to the File City Arena. This is the second gym in Beetle Land. Lots of professional looking equipment, and also a giant novelty mallet to get bonked on the head with. This Kawagamon will let our Digimon rest for an hour if he gets too tired from overexerting himself, but no rest. We must press on. This Kawagamon is just telling us about the Kunamon's bed trick, where if you take an in-training Digimon to sleep there, they will sometimes become Kunamon. I believe there's actually a 50% chance that that will happen. But it's pretty good odds, you know, if he doesn't turn into Kunamon the first night, just take him another night. And so, treadmill, we don't have anything like this back in Green Gym. We gotta use it. Well, we don't want to poop in this nice gym. And Hammer Machine, which is allegedly gets up their defense, but I don't know, I find that kind of suspect. Back home, we just have a giant punching, just boxing glove. Punches you right in the face. Brain damage is pretty consistent in getting up defense, from what I've seen. Some way you're getting a bump on the head. I mean, that's, you want to get more defense. You gonna get punched in the brain box. This Kawagamon is very important as well. He just really wants to beat Kabuterimon. What do I need? We can suggest, there are 3 options here. It doesn't look like it. The second one kind of spills over a bit. So, I don't know, hang in there. And so that was not a nice thing to say, to offer him condolences. So actually, there is a surefire. Really? A surefire? Then I'll train you! Even though he wants to train... Whatever, just come to the city. I can tell this is going to be an epic rivalry between the two. I'm just going to take an autopilot back home, but I just wanted to point out the description for the blue flute, which I think is pretty great. Proof of friendship. Seedramon, you might tell people we're not friends, but I have proof. You gave me your flute. That means something, damn it! Back in the city, if we come to the gym, we see what Kabuterimon and Kawagamon are up to. They have modified the equipment of the gym, and so now it will just boost stats more when doing training. So training is more efficient, which is awfully considerate of them. Also, they just say the exact same thing. I don't know if they're like reciting a line. It's kind of creepy, a little suspicious, not gonna lie. But, yeah. Anyone asks, just say, I modified the equipment, it's better now. Train hard! Just say that verbatim. I'd like to think they say it in unison, really just ratchet up that creep factor.